Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Small Talk on the Mats. Today's guest is a high-performance executive, elite team builder, and a candidate for the New Mexico House of Representatives in District 60. As Senior Vice President of Recruitment for a top national real estate team, he has built a career around leadership and building winning teams. Now he's stepping into the public service with a mission to make New Mexico safer, more affordable, and full of opportunity for the next generations to come. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I introduce to you Zach Anaya.
What's going on, bud?
What's going on, bro? I'm excited to have you on. Before we started rolling, we mentioned that you're the first politician on the podcast, so it's exciting. I've been looking forward to this interview, man. Just because of your background and all that stuff. So we'll jump into it, man. I categorize my questions so I'm not jumping all over the place.
All right, let's do it.
So we'll begin with your origin, your personal background here. So the first question to kick it off, man, is what experiences growing up shaped the way you think about leadership and service today?
It's a solid question. So I'm from the South Valley. I was born and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico. My dad, my grandpa, they're both in the New Mexico Boxing Hall of Fame, along with my godfather, Charles, who's passed away. And seeing how hard that they worked in their sport, and I mean, my dad makes the joke, it's not a sport because your opponent's hitting you back. So I think you would agree with that. But seeing how hard they worked in that competitive spirit, and then seeing my dad build the companies that he builds, he's a new home builder. He builds about 500 homes a year. Really learned the value of hard work and not seeking instant gratification. And I think that's the biggest disconnect between like our generation, Gen Z, and the generations before us. They knew that they weren't going to get something instantly, that they had to work for it. And I think that, through social media, even like purchasing things on Amazon and stuff like that, you're used to getting things quickly, right? Like you add things to your cart so you can get it the next day.
Right.
Like it's wild. And I wasn't raised like that. And I think it's really paid dividend in my professional life, in recovery, and now running for office. Like, I wish the election was tomorrow. I really do, but we still have a few months to go, and I'm mentally prepared for that.
That's good. Yeah, it's a slow, steady road, but in the end, it's all worth it. All right. So, was there a specific moment when you realized you wanted to dedicate your life to building teams and helping people succeed?
Yeah. So I used to be a recruiter at Northwestern Mutual, and then I used to recruit temps. Front office staff, janitors, accountants, things like that for tax season. And I got really tired of recruiting individuals to a job that they weren't going to have in the next 6 months, maximum. So I went and got my real estate license. I passed the real estate exam, and then about 3 days later, COVID strikes, the world shuts down.
Yeah.
And wild, it was the best time in history to be a real estate agent. But I was terrified. I had just gotten my own place. I was renting, and I needed like a consistent form of income. And my boss at the time hired me to be a transaction coordinator. So the guy that handles all the paperwork. Typically, it's not a guy. I think I was the only male transaction coordinator I'd ever met in my life. Realized I was awful at it, and I guess that's why there aren't too many males. And he asked me, essentially, you used to be a recruiter. Would you be interested in doing that here?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, in a situation like that, maybe, because they're not temps. They're full-time real estate agents, and they'll be here for the long term if they're good. And really just kind of took off from there. We added, 10, 20 agents. And now 6 years later, I'm with a different company. But we have about 1,300 agents across the United States and Canada. And
that's crazy.
It's, I guess there wasn't like really a moment that I said I wanted to build teams, but we got pretty damn good at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good little background. And how has being a husband and father influenced the way you approach both business and public service?
Well, before I met my wife, I wouldn't leave the office. I mean, you're on lockdown, right? It's the only place you can be.
Yeah.
So I would not leave the office. I'd get there at 7 a.m. I'd leave when the sun was going down or was already down. The restaurants were popping next door to the office,
Yeah.
And then I met my wife, and I realized I had to start making time for her. She was my girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
And now, work is super important. The campaign is incredibly important. But I think I spend more time with my family than any other professional in my industry. I make it a point to be around them because, what's the point of working that hard, making all that money, building these teams if you can't enjoy time with your family? So
exactly.
I've made it a real point to spend as much time with them as possible.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. It's something... They always say you don't know what you have until it's gone, right? And you don't want that to happen with the family portion.
No, not at all.
Family should always be priority. So I agree with you on that. Our next topic is leadership in business. So, as Senior Vice President of Recruitment for a top national real estate team, what lessons about leadership and team building have stuck with you the most?
I think the most successful leaders are not the most intelligent leaders. They're not the best salespeople. They're not even the best in their field. They're the people that step up and take the responsibility seriously.
Okay.
And I think that's what makes the best leaders. Our organization was started, it's called the Perry Group. They asked me not to say the name of it in the bio I sent you, and now they're totally fine with it. So it's called the Perry Group. They're out of Salt Lake City, Utah. It was it was a dad, his son, and two of his son's friends.
Okay.
And the dad, Jack, used to be a pastor. He built churches. The guy never made more than like $20,000 in a year.
Oof.
And they slowly just started buying Zillow leads and selling houses. And they started bringing in more of his son Michael's friends.
Okay.
And before he knew it, it exploded. And I asked Jack all the time, like, why didn't you just keep those deals for yourself and, just make a lot more money? And he said, well, it was about giving opportunity to people that I cared about. And now that's part of our entire mission statement, is to radically change the financial future for people that we care about.
Okay.
I think that's actually verbatim our mission statement. And Jack, if you find him on social media, his name's Jack Perry. He wears crazy wigs. He has a really good time. Jack will tell you he was not the best real estate agent.
Yeah.
He was not the best team leader, but he stepped up.
Yeah.
He loves people, and now we're one of the top 3 teams in the nation, regardless of the market. We beat teams in Los Angeles and New York and Florida, in little old Salt Lake City, Utah. And it's because good people stepped up to help other good people.
Yeah, I like that. That's amazing. That's good. I'm sure the statistics are pretty wild too. And I like that saying. I don't know who said it, but hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard or some shit like that.
100%,
Right? So,
100%.
Yeah, so that's a good way to put it. High performance environments can be intense. So what habits or disciplines keep you operating at a high level?
So I think it goes back to my recovery. So I've been in recovery from drug addiction. I'm getting a spam call. I've been in recovery from drug addiction now. It's going to be 6 years on the 22nd of this month. And
Congrats.
Thank you. Everything starts with accountability to yourself.
Yeah.
1,000%. And, whether you're running for office or you're, in a high pressure business environment or in recovery, if you lie to yourself, you're going to lie to other people, and eventually it's going to be exposed that you're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So if I'm honest with myself and I say, okay, today we're going to accomplish X, Y, Z, and I only get through X and I push off Y and Z, well, I failed myself. But I'm also not going to lie to my boss and say, no, I'll get it done for you tomorrow. Yeah. I now know I have to go back to ABC and get those done the following day. Just open communication and honesty. Mark Twain probably has one of my favorite quotes of all time. It says, if you never tell a lie, you never have to remember what you said. Like, they were trying to prep me for this interview, and they're trying to go over all of the things that I stand for as a candidate for office. And I was like, no, we don't have to go over it, dude. Like, if someone asks me, the first thing that's going to pop into my head is my thought, and I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
I don't think we should ever have to lie to get a job, to get elected, because eventually you get into that position, you get into that office, and then you don't do what you said you wanted to do because you forgot or you lied. It's just, dude,
and you get exposed.
You get exposed big time.
All right. Yeah. Okay. And when you're building elite teams, what qualities do you look for the most in people that other people tend to overlook?
So when we first started doing this, it was any warm body with a pulse and a real estate license. Mm-hmm. Now we've been very particular about the type of people that we bring in because they're wearing our brand in other markets, and we really can't control the quality out there. So really, it's how we mesh as people. Like, I could have a team that has the best infrastructure, they sell the most homes, but if I don't like their team leader, we're not bringing him over. And I mean, we're able to work with a lot of people that we really like as friends. If we were in any other industry, we could be out, digging ditches together or selling $1 million homes together, and I think we would have a good time. So, I mean, I don't think it's a quality that people overlook necessarily, but it's the most important one to us.
Okay. All right. I like it. Our next topic is your transition into politics. What ultimately motivated you to step into the political arena and run for New Mexico House of Representatives?
So if you look at my content online, I've been pretty politically active forever, as long as I can remember. everyone used to joke around, like, you're going to be the next president of the United States and all this stuff. And it's never anything I seriously considered doing until my wife and I moved to Utah. We were out there for about a year before our son was born. And we had a really serious conversation about staying in Salt Lake City after my son was born, just because of how great the education system is there, low crime. It's a beautiful, beautiful community.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be closer to our family. But, I mean, the statistics out here are just so out of control. I mean, 50th in education, 50th in childhood well-being, first in violent crime, first in auto theft, top 10 in murder. We're the 18th most dangerous city, or Albuquerque is, not Rio Rancho. Albuquerque is the 18th most dangerous city in the world. Like, it beats some, like, Middle Eastern countries.
It's up there.
But, God, I really try not to get negative. But our current representative in District 60 loves to wear the banner of Republican, says he's a conservative fighter, when in reality he has voted for a budget increase in Santa Fe for the last 6 years. We went from $7 billion in 2020 to over $11 billion today. That's not his money. That's your money. That's my money. That's my kids' money. And it's not going to infrastructure. It's not going to roads. It's not going to keep us safer. It's going to vanity projects, like on-demand abortion and free transition surgeries for minors. And I've had enough. And, we were looking for somebody to run against him. And I thought to myself, I don't trust anybody else to run against him. It's going to have to be me. And so my wife and I had a few conversations, and we decided to just kind of rip the Band-Aid off, make the announcement, and just go full force at it. And I think so many people get into it for vanity, or they want the power, or they think it's going to be an easy way to make money. I'm losing money doing this. I'm funding my own campaign. I'm not taking any special interest money like my opponent is. Like, we're losing money on it. I'm losing time with my family. I'm losing time with my business. And it's a huge risk. I mean, if somebody doesn't like what I'm saying, are they going to buy a house from me? Are they going to want to come work for me? No. So, the decision was a difficult one, but I think that this place that you and I live in, this district, this small little district in Rio Rancho, is worth fighting for. The state is worth fighting for. And if my dad taught me anything, it was fight for what's worth fighting for.
Yeah, that's damn right. I like it. That's good reason. Yeah, a lot of people go into it for the wrong reasons. And like you said, they get exposed at the end. So.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, they're my beliefs. And if we have to lose a few clients and a few $1,000s to do it, then we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because we can't keep going the way that we're going right now. And we need Republicans in Santa Fe that are going to be there to fight. Look at what we have up there. The Democrats are 3 votes away in the House and 2 votes away in the Senate from a supermajority, which would render us completely useless. What's the point of having a moderate Republican who's going to vote with them 60% of the time when you need somebody that's going to make their life difficult during the 30-day session and the 60-day session, and not let them pass some of these things that are absolutely hurting our kids? They are hurting our property values. They're hurting everything around us. And you're just going to sit there with your little bow tie and not do anything? It's just not, no.
It's wild. Yeah. And so many people do complain about politics, but never run.
Yeah.
So on top of the reasons that you just told me, what's the major factor in taking that leap into the run?
My kids.
Okay.
It's my kids, 100%. I mean, we're at a point now where things, like, we can improve the state of our state for us, but your kids are young. They still have to go through the public education system here. They still have to go through college here if they don't go anywhere else. They have to get a job here. It's terrifying that, like, whenever we go down the hill into Albuquerque, I have to have my gun.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm in Rio Rancho, I'm not walking into the grocery store with it. But if I'm down in Albuquerque and I'm showing a house, I don't know who's going to pop around the corner.
Yeah.
Like, it's there.
Yeah.
It's ready to go. And it's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. And I don't want my kids to feel the same way about their kids, because I know our parents probably felt the same way about us.
Yeah.
And nobody did anything about it.
Yeah.
Nobody. They made it worse.
Yeah. It sucks. Yeah. Same thing is, like, you go to take a trip to the grocery store, you got to be packing something, man, because you never know, man. You never know, especially with the political attacks now, like the shootings, the mass shootings and everything going on. It's scary, man. So
putting your face out there as a candidate, like, so many people, it's so wild. Like, we're so fresh into this. We announced in January, we filed at the beginning of this week, And people will, I'll be walking through Market Street down here, and they'll be like, bigot. I'm like, bigot?
Oh, wow.
What?
Holy shit.
Bigot? Like, you're a bigot. Go to Whole Foods. Like, what do you mean? Like,
yeah, I didn't even think about that. So, yeah, now you got to prepare yourself because you're a public person now, you got to prepare yourself for those interactions.
Yeah, it's
those
wild.
personal interactions.
It's wild.
Holy shit. I didn't think about that. What surprised you the most about campaigning and meeting voters across District 60 so far?
So we're running in a Republican primary. So we have to be very careful not to make it an echo chamber of people that have the same ideas as us. And, I've surrounded myself with a really good team of diverse individuals. Zach Darden, he ran for mayor up here. He's my campaign manager. And we don't agree on like 50% of the issues. But I think that we all have more in common than we have a difference of opinion.
Okay.
We want safer elections. We want safer schools. We want better roads, and we want to keep more of our money.
Yeah.
And the more people I talk to, and I tell them what I actually believe in and what I want to try to get done in Santa Fe, Democrat, Republican, Independent, they all agree. It's just that Democrats, and I always thought it was like a myth, right? Democrats, they always vote against their own interests. But in New Mexico specifically, Democrats have been conditioned to vote for Democrats because they think Republicans are old white men that just want to take their money. We're not. We're not. And if you actually look at the campaign platforms and not at the party platforms, and you meet the people that are running, I think we have far more in common than we have difference of opinion. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that on the campaign trail. I guarantee you, if I would have been able to talk to that lady that called me a bigot at the grocery store, I think that she would have changed her mind about me specifically, because I'm not a bigot. I'm really not. And most Republicans that I meet are not, the exception of Steve Jones running in District 1 for U.S. House of Representatives. That man is a bigot. And I'm not afraid to say that about someone in my own party. But yeah, dude, people are great. Most people are solid people. They just want to be happy. They want to be free, and they want to be safe. And if we can make that the message of this campaign, then I think we're going to be pretty well off. Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting thing, because so we got the two major political parties, right? And if you were to meet someone right across the street, or your neighbor, or someone in public, anywhere, doesn't matter, and you guys start talking small talk, right, and don't bring politics into it, you would never know.
No.
Right? You would never know up until the point where it starts becoming political and you guys are Democrat, Republican. Then that's when you start butting heads and talking. So it's up to that point, right? If it was never mentioned, you would never know that person was a Democrat or Republican.
No.
And over the course of the last few years, it's just become they've even said Democrats are slowly turning more from liberal to progressive, right?
Yeah.
So it's now it's just either you're it's ultimate hatred towards the other party for some reason or another, and it's just not the same that it was a few years back.
Well, I think it's because of the constant flow of news that we get. Right?
Yeah, right.
Everything is breaking news. Everything is, life or death. Democrats did this. Republicans did that.
Right.
And we've turned politics into a team sport. And we're getting updates from Politico and CNN and Fox the same way we get from ESPN. And just flip it. Imagine you're talking to your neighbor. You wouldn't know that the guy's a Cowboys fan unless you guys start talking about football. And then all of a sudden you're an Eagles fan. You guys hate each other. And it's the same thing. And most people don't know what they believe in.
Yeah, exactly.
They are conditioned from mainstream media. They on both sides. I talked to some Republicans. I was like, "How you don't believe that? What do you mean? You have a job with the government. If we cut government spending, you're going to lose your job. Why do you think you picked the logo? You picked the elephant over the donkey, and now that's just your entire personality. And we've made it our personalities, right? For me, I'm running for office. So yes, my beliefs, my ideas are forefront every day. I need to talk about it. It's my social media. But trust me, I would much rather be talking about the World Baseball Classic or the Players Championship this weekend in the PGA, or showing how my son's enjoying soccer.
Yeah.
But everybody's doing that.
Yeah.
And everybody has an opinion. Sometimes you shouldn't have an opinion on things. If it doesn't affect you, you shouldn't have opinions on things.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we're all human beings.
Yeah.
All right. Next topic is public safety and community. Public safety is a cornerstone of your campaign. So what changes do you believe are most urgent for New Mexico right now?
So, you're going to hear a lot of politicians, especially during this election season, saying that we need to back the blue, that we need to ensure our police officers are taken care of. And I agree with that 1,000%. But our police officers are making arrests in record numbers. They are doing their jobs. They are arresting the criminals.
Yeah.
And our laws in this state are so weak. I shared one yesterday or day before yesterday on my social media that Duke Rodriguez brought up. In the state of New Mexico, if you are found guilty by a jury of your peers of sexual penetration of a minor between the ages of 12 and 17, you are able to complete a 1-year probationary period, and then you are not found guilty. You're not convicted of that crime in the system,
God.
which means you don't get the little red dot on your house on the map of all the sex offenders, which I send to all of my clients before they purchase a house so they know exactly where they're buying. And if you, we have an expungement law. It's passed in 2020. Michelle Lujan Grisham signed it into law that after 1 year, you are able to remove it completely from the state database.
That's crazy.
And it's for all first-time offenders, except for people that are found guilty, all offenders, not sex offenders, all offenders, unless you're found guilty of DWI. It's the only exception they made, which means they made exceptions. Why didn't they make exceptions for child predators?
That's crazy.
It makes zero sense to me. And that's the thing. And we have so many of those laws on the books of revolving doors of crime and criminals getting back onto the streets. And then the judges, we call them weak judges, right? We do it on our posts. We say we have weak judges. Their hands are tied because of the laws in this state. The Democrats in Santa Fe and the Republicans that have voted for the bills with them care more about the dignity of a criminal than the victim of the crime.
Right.
Period. End of story. And they've taken this progressive philosophy of everybody gets a second chance, everybody should have the chance, to a whole new level. Like, I've had a second chance in life, but if I would have been guilty of one of those crimes, I should have been in prison the rest of my life. And I think, and this is where me and my opponent agree on this actually, Josh Hernandez, the death penalty for your first offense of child endangerment, sexual endangerment, across the state of New Mexico. Like, we might not do it for murderers. If you're harming children, you should be put to death in this state.
Yeah, zero tolerance. 100%. Jesus, man, that's crazy. I didn't know that stat. Yeah. That's crazy. It's become a trending topic for sure, the laws of New Mexico. And I'm not too fond of it. Like, I know personally some people that have like DWIs and stuff that are just getting off. Like, here, complete this community service, and you're off, and we won't even go on your record. Well,
it's so wild, right? We've increased our state budget from $7 billion to $11 billion, but none of that money is going into prisons. None of that money is going into county jails, city jails. So where is the money going? It's going to their pet projects. If we don't have money to fund our jails, just like we don't have money to fund our schools, apparently, we should not be paying for anything else in this state. But we have the money. We're not a poor state. We're not. We're the second richest state in the country behind Alaska with our sovereign wealth fund. So why aren't we putting our money into these programs that keep offenders locked up? And, excuse me, the Democrats, specifically like the far left liberal wing of the party, they say incarceration doesn't work. Doesn't work. I was like, it does work. It works for the people it's designed to work for me and for you and for our kids. I could care less if a criminal gets rehabilitated in prison. I really could care less. As long as they stay there. But if they're not getting rehabilitated and then you're putting them back out onto the street, like it just becomes a war zone out there. And it really is. And we used to say as kids, the international district's the war zone. It's the entirety of this state now. We are in an active war zone.
Yeah, that's sad to say, but yeah, you're right. And you're right, it's like APD, BCSO, they're all doing their job.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's just a catch and release here.
Isn't it wild? So, like, they put their lives on the line. They make like $33 an hour. They arrest a dangerous criminal. And then the criminal is back out onto the streets before the police officer is because he hasn't had a chance to file the paperwork. It is wild.
It's frustrating, to say the least. Okay, so let's see. What question did I leave on? The fentanyl crisis is impacting communities nationwide right now. So what specific actions would you push for the state level to combat trafficking right now?
So the problem with the state right now is the fact that our executive leadership, so Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, Attorney General Raul Torres, and everybody else in the executive level refuses to work with the federal government. They're using it under the guise of, we're not working with ICE. But they're also not working with the FBI. They're not working with the Department of Homeland Security. And so essentially, imagine like you and your buddy are out hunting for the same animal, right? You're both trying to get the same animal, but one of you has the scope, the other one has the rifle, one of you has one boot on, the other one has the other boot on. You're not going to be able to accomplish your goal of taking down that target. If we increase our collaboration with the federal government back to the levels that we used to have when we had Susana Martinez as governor, I think that we can make a huge dent in the fentanyl crisis that's happening across the state of New Mexico. And if we truly shut down the southern border, I think we're going to be in really good shape. And I want to clarify on that too, because there are a lot of Republicans that say deport everybody that's here illegally, that got here illegally, whether their parents brought them here or they were born here, they need to leave. Our economy would collapse. We'd lose about 30% of our population in the state of New Mexico. So that's not the right way to go. But targeting criminals, whether they're illegal aliens or not, and shutting down the southern border is a huge, huge opportunity for us to really curb the drug epidemic in this state.
Yeah. And that goes back to the just catch and release that we just previously mentioned, right? So I think there needs to be a turnaround at some point for these laws that are in effect right now.
Well, I mean, look, if you have 100 fentanyl pills, you can kill over 100,000 people with that. So why are they not being treated like terrorists?
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Lock them up. Like that. A bag of fentanyl about yay big can kill more people than 10 9/11s. What are we doing?
It's wild.
We're treating them like street level dealers that are like selling marijuana before we legalized it. It is such a different drug. And, then they lump them together. Both sides like to lump them together because they don't want the crime statistics to spike out of control. It's like releasing anthrax out into the community.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, so our next topic is affordability and economic policy. You're advocating for eliminating gross receipts tax. How would that change impact working families and small businesses?
Well, I do. I also want to get rid of the state income tax. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But if we eliminate the gross receipts tax, you just bought this house, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful home. Do you mind telling me what the price tag on it was?
No. So it was close to $500,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say it's $500,000. With the New Mexico gross receipts tax, that's the price. If we didn't have the gross receipts tax, you probably would have paid closer to $410,000 to $420,000 for this house. And the reason for that is we have a system in the state of New Mexico called pyramiding. And what it means is when a company cuts down a tree, they get taxed on the labor for cutting down that tree. And then they transport it to the lumber yard. They get taxed on the transportation, and now the lumber yard gets taxed on the purchase of that wood. They then turn it into the 2x4, the 2x6, the plywood for this house, and they get taxed on the labor. And then D.R. Horton or Hakes Brothers or Pulte, they buy that lumber from the lumber yard, and they get taxed on the transportation. And then my dad builds the house, and he gets taxed on the labor and the material that he purchased. It's tax on tax on tax on tax. And at the end of the day, none of them are paying it. I mean, they're paying their taxes, but it gets built into the cost of the home for the new home builder.
Yeah.
So we don't have an affordability crisis in the state of New Mexico. We have a tax crisis in the state of New Mexico. If this house would be $410,000, then the house down the street that sells at $300,000, that house would be sold at $230,000. You know how many of my buyers are approved at $230,000? About 75% of them. They can't find anything in this city. They can't find anything down the hill. If we eliminate the gross receipts tax, you have a massive new pool of buyers that are able to infuse money into the economy, and we're able to make up for the lost revenue from gross receipts tax in sales tax, in property tax. Like, we're not going to lose money on it because more people are willing to spend at that point. But you're taxing the same thing over and over again instead of taxing a wide swath of people at a lower rate. Yeah, you're going to make houses unaffordable, and we're not competitive. Texas doesn't have an income tax, gross receipts tax. Arizona, they have a 2.5% income tax, no gross receipts tax. Colorado, more liberal than us, no gross receipts tax. Utah doesn't have it. So why are we an island in the Southwest and triple, quadruple taxing our citizens? It makes no sense.
Interesting. That's a good point to bring out. See, that's why I like having different amount of guests, because they bring out stuff that we don't see, right? And you're bringing out the good points. And I think I saw your post. I think it was yesterday about we had the second highest
Yeah.
tax in the nation.
Yeah, so we have the second highest gross receipts tax in the country, but we also have the second largest sovereign wealth fund in the country, right behind Alaska. We're the second largest producer of oil in the country behind Texas. Did you know that?
I did not.
New Mexico, it's most of our budget. Most of our money comes from oil and gas. So if we were to eliminate these programs, the Department of Education, and send decision-making back down to the local school boards, eliminate DEI practices and the bureaucracy in Santa Fe. Like if I was governor, Duke, Greg, all you guys running for it, just fire everybody in Santa Fe, please. That would be like my first thing if I was ever governor. But if we were able to eliminate all of these programs and shave our state budget back to even 2020 levels and $7 billion, and use the Sovereign Wealth Fund to diversify our economy outside of oil and gas. We still are really huge proponents and supporters of oil and gas, but we need to diversify so that we're not reliant on it. Because if oil goes down, our state economy goes down completely. Mm-hmm. But if we're able to diversify and eliminate the bloat, lower people's taxes, we then become more than likely one of the top 5 richest states in the country per capita, per person. Not just the state's rich. You and I make more money.
Yeah.
And that's the type of move that we need to make. I mean, think about New Mexico, the weather, 300 days of sunshine a year, the food. That's honestly why we moved back. Utah food was awful. We moved back for the food and the family and the landscape. This place is gorgeous. Why aren't more people moving here?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's wild to me. And if you look through the budget and the things that we're spending money on, like $2.8 million for new escalators at the Bernalillo County Courthouse, that's wild to me, Matt. Like it's absolutely like, you could build a brand new building for that price. So I got off topic, but it's wild. Like the more I look into it, the more I'm reading, about our current situation in the state of New Mexico and realizing that we have the answer. Like it's like if you're dying of thirst and your refrigerator's full of water, but Michelle Lujan Grisham is just there like trying to block you out like an offensive tackle. It's wild.
Yeah. Man, that's a good way to put it. Hey Warriors, before we get back into today's episode, I want to take a moment to share something really meaningful. Life can get heavy sometimes, whether you're a teenager figuring out your place in the world, a family trying to stay connected through challenges, or a service member transitioning back to the civilian life. It's not always easy to navigate those moments alone, and that's where the Rock Family Therapy comes in. They're a veteran-owned practice dedicated to helping people just like you, people facing real struggles, real emotions, and real turning points. Their team offers compassionate, personalized therapy for adolescents, families, military personnel, and anyone working through trauma. What I love most about their approach is they truly listen, they take action, and they help you transform. No judgment, no one-size-fits-all solutions, just a safe, supportive space where you can heal, grow, and regain control of your life. If you've been carrying something heavy, this would be your sign to take that first step. You don't have to go through it alone. Check out the Rock Family Therapy and start building a brighter future one step at a time. Mention that you heard the sponsorship on my podcast and you'll get your first session free. No obligations. All right, let's get back to the episode. What's up, Warriors? Before we jump further in today's episode, I've got a story you need to hear. It starts back in 2010 with a guy named A.G. Gregoroff hiking through the San Diego backcountry. In the middle of nowhere, his flip-flop blows out, the strap snaps, he's stuck, so he does what most people wouldn't. He rigs it back together with paracord just to make it out. It works, but barely. His feet are torn up, bleeding, and that's when the question hits him. Why isn't there a flip-flop actually built for real life? So here's where things get interesting. Not long after, he's in Japan working as a military contractor, and he goes deep into the jungles of Okinawa looking for a master leather craftsman. No joke, this turns into a decade-long obsession with building the toughest, most durable, best-looking flip-flops you can imagine. Now we're talking full-grain American leather, handcrafted, built to handle mountains, deserts, everyday wear, whatever you throw at them. At first, it was just for him. Then his jiu-jitsu team wanted some. Then his other military guys wanted some. Then athletes. And suddenly, this thing just blows up and gets a name. Toehold. And today, it's grown into a brand out of Las Vegas that's basically flipping the entire footwear industry on its head, while everyone else is making cheap disposable stuff. These guys are building something that actually gets you where you need to go, and it gets better with time. So if you're tired of replacing your flip-flops every month and you want something that's built with intention, built to last, and honestly just looks incredible, go to shoptoehold.com and get your gear today. You can also get yourself a wallet, a key fob, caps, rash guards, and much more. All right, guys, let's jump back into the episode. Okay, New Mexico has struggled with economic growth compared to neighboring states, as you just mentioned. So what opportunities do you see that the state isn't fully tapping into yet right now?
So I think that we actually do a really good job of trying to recruit new businesses to the state. Specifically, Greg Hull out here in Rio Rancho, Intel was going to leave like 4 or 5 years ago. They were going to bounce out of New Mexico. And he made a really good deal with Intel to keep them here. They went from 900 jobs to 1,300 employees right now. He brought the new sonic missile development company out to the northern part of Rio Rancho. Mm-hmm. But the reason that we're able to do that is we give them breaks in the city. Susana Martinez was really good at this. That's why like every third movie that comes out domestically was made in New Mexico, at least a part of it, is because of the tax breaks that we gave Netflix. Yeah. We need to be able to do the same thing for these large corporations. Large tax breaks, incentivize them to move here. But here's the main thing, the economic driver. Companies aren't moving here because their employees will not move here. If your company, let's say you're with Microsoft, because we tried to court them a couple of years ago. And you're an engineer that makes $400,000 a year, and your kids go to the best schools in Seattle. And they're saying you're going to be relocated to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And you go look at the crime statistics, you're like, oh, I can get shot in the street. Mm. My kids are going to go from a top 5 school district to one of the worst in the country. And my Tesla is going to get destroyed because there's potholes in it. You're going to go find another job with another tech company. Yeah. So unless we address crime, education, and infrastructure, the economy will never improve. Yeah. It will never improve.
Yeah, I agree. And if you could pass one economic reform immediately to make life easier for New Mexicans, what would it be? The first thing?
Like like a state level or a national level?
You choose.
I would eliminate the IRS. Okay. The personal income tax is the largest theft in American history. It is so unconstitutional. President Trump, who is, he's a divisive figure, so we try not to mention him too much. But the tariffs that President Trump put into place, if the Supreme Court wouldn't have shut those down, I truly believe that in the next 2 years, we would have gotten rid of the federal income tax. Mm-hmm. So that would be, if I had like a magic wand, like if they made me king for a day, I would eliminate the income tax at any level.
Okay. Yeah. That's a big one for sure. Our next topic is service and community impact. So you're involved in an international service organization focused on community impact. So how has service shaped your leadership philosophy?
So yeah, that's one. I can't say their name, so sorry. It was super vague, but yeah. It's a non-partisan organization. So we have Democrats, we have Republicans. But it's really more boots on the ground. So we have the national organization, which has eliminated polio, if that gives you a hint on who we are. And then you have the local one where we've replaced dance floors at local dance academies, which I know your wife would be super stoked about. We provide backpacks to this elementary school every Friday. My mother-in-law does it every single Friday, and she sends out 150 backpacks with snacks and lunches and dinners, so these kids have food on the weekend. And because of them, we're able to make sure that kids aren't going hungry when they're not at school. And then during the summer, they give them even larger donations. And seeing the real human impact, because I think you get so lost, especially running for office or being in Santa Fe, it's numbers on a spreadsheet. It's dollars that you're thinking about. And these private organizations are really doing the work, boots on the ground, helping human beings. And, whether it's our church, I go to Calvary in Albuquerque, or this organization, or even, some of the outreach that I do with other recovering addicts, just seeing that one change in a life, whether it's, I'm not going to go hungry this weekend, or this, the guy, he tells me, this bro gives me hope, tells me, one of those meetings I went to. And it's so radical because we want to save everybody, right? That's the instinct of you're, former military, I'm going into public service, and we just want to save people. But when you do it for one person, it has the same impact as doing it for 1,000 people. Mm-hmm. And if you can make that small impact, if every single person can make one small impact every day, God, this world would be such a great place to live.
Oh yeah, for sure. And what are some local initiatives or community efforts that give you hope for the future of New Mexico?
I don't have. It's wild. I don't have a lot of hope with the current political landscape. Whether we win or not, it's going to be an uphill climb. But as far as like local initiatives, everything I'm seeing is I'm looking at it as a spreadsheet right now. In Rio Rancho specifically, you know, we have our veterans organization. They have lunch once a month or breakfast once a month, and like the Federation of Women Voters. And watching them build these communities, like the first one I went to for the Federation, there was like 6 or 7 people there, and now there's like 50 to 80 people, and they're building a community, and that gives me hope. Going to the park with my kids gives me hope. You know, you see these families out there and they're playing with their dog and they're able to have a good time. They're not scared of their surroundings, and I never felt like that in Albuquerque.
Yeah,
I feel like that up here.
Yeah,
like I'm sure, you know, did you live up here before you bought it?
Yeah, we had a house down the street, actually, like 5 minutes away.
So why did you guys come to Rio Rancho?
Honestly, our main focus was our kids' education, right? So,
but you guys can go for a walk, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I lived in the valley.
It's way safer.
There weren't sidewalks in the valley, so it was a little difficult to go for a walk. But I was telling my wife the other day, as we were driving through the valley, I saw like 6 or 7 stray dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't see that up here. It's wild. Like you do not see stray animals. You'll see a coyote every once in a while, but not one specific initiative. But the city of Rio Rancho gives me hope.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
what the state can be. And that's not an endorsement for Greg Hull for governor. I love Greg, but I have to stay out of that one. But what we've been able to accomplish here really should be a blueprint for the rest of the state.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it here. It's a black and white difference.
Right? And it's just like 3 minutes down the hill and you're like, you're back in it. Like once you, and I won't say all of Albuquerque, like once you get past like Ventana Ranch, it gets wild.
Yeah.
It's a little wild. Like you go down the petroglyph and it's like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I work downtown, so I'm there every day, man. Just every day something new.
I sell down there. And I telling you off camera or were we on? I don't remember. Like I go show a house and like I'm ready to clear the room. Like you have no idea. I showed a house in the International District off of Zuni and Lowell. This was probably like 3 or 4 months ago. So I open the door and I hear like rustling upstairs. And this house is vacant. It's been vacant for months. And I tell my client, she's a sweet little old lady. I was like, I need you to just wait here for a second.
Yeah.
Don't go outside, but stay right here in the entryway.
Yeah.
And so I get ready. I walk up the stairs, and this guy jumps out the second-story window.
Oh, jeez.
And he was obviously, homeless, unhoused, whatever you want to call him. Jumps down. I see him. He clearly breaks his leg or something.
Oh, my God.
And just takes off down the alleyway.
Damn.
That's wild.
Who knows how long he's in there, too. Yeah.
And so I tell her, like, do you still want to see this house? Are you comfortable with it? And she tells me this is all I can afford.
Oh, shoot.
And I was like, I can't steer you. Like, legally, we can't say you should buy this house, you shouldn't buy this house.
Yeah.
But you really need to think long and hard about whether you want to leave your apartment just to buy. And my wife and I had this conversation. It's going way off track, but my wife and I had this conversation the other day that, we've been conditioned since we were kids, like the American dream is buying a home, owning your own home. In our current economy, I don't think that you should buy just for the sake of buying, especially in some of these areas.
Yeah.
It's going to piss off a lot of realtors. But you really shouldn't. Like, you have to think about your safety. You have to think about the value of the home, where it's going to be, and, you have to think about stairs. That lady shouldn't have been in the house with stairs.
Yeah, that's a conversation my wife and I will have years later on dinner.
Yeah. You'll have to sell it. Well, yeah. Like my grandma, she has 3 stairs that go down to her to split level.
Yeah.
And they had to, now that she's gotten older, they had to do like these massive stairs. They're like 5 feet long so she can get up. So it's not like as high of a step. But yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. So we've reached our last category here, and that's your vision for the future. So when you think about the next generation growing up in New Mexico, including your own kids, what kind of state do you want them to inherit?
I think that New Mexico can truly be a blueprint for the rest of the country on how to turn things around. You look at Mississippi. Mississippi 3 years ago was the only state that we were beating in education. They were 49, we were 50. They are now in the top 12 in education because they brought school choice to Mississippi and reformed their Department of Education down to a point where I think it's like 2 or 3 people running a department that used to have 500 employees. But New Mexico has that same opportunity, and I think that recovery has really taught me that. If I was just some guy that had everything handed to me, I was able to like kind of just walk into success, luckily, then you probably shouldn't vote for somebody like that. But I've had to walk through the fire. I've had to overcome addiction. I was homeless at one point. So when I say homeless, I'm not talking about people that I didn't, like things I didn't experience myself. And I think our state is kind of like in the midst of addiction right now. We are, we're denying anything's wrong. We're spending money that we don't have, or we're borrowing it from people to fuel our habits. And the bill's going to come due. And what they taught me in early recovery is there's really only 3 options for addicts. You either go to jail, you die, or you get clean. And for the state, I see it as we only have 2 options. We're either going to become economically and culturally dead, or we get clean. And so if I've been able to accomplish this in my own life, I think that the state can do that. I don't think we're too far gone. And I want my kids to stay here. My mom and dad wanted us to come back so bad so they can be around their grandkids. And I don't want my kids to leave when they have their own kids because there's nothing for them here.
Yeah.
And I think that's really it. Like the campaign motto, and I think so many politicians pick just something that sounds catchy. Ours is my core belief. And what I want people to do, I want them to stay here, build here, and thrive here. It's not about just surviving. Like, the government shouldn't give you anything, but we also shouldn't be taking everything from you.
Yeah, I agree. And if your campaign succeeds, what does a successful term look like for you?
So if my campaign succeeds, more than likely we're still going to have the minority in the House and the Senate. But I think there are plenty of common sense bills that we can get passed with the help of Democrats on the other side of the aisle. But a successful term in the House is really bringing these bills that they're trying to pass in Santa Fe to light. I want the electorate to be educated. And it's not about politicians or elected officials talking down to people. I truly want to educate. If you look at some of my videos, I'm able to condense an entire bill down in 2 minutes and tell you exactly what it's about. If we can stop them from passing another version of SB 17, the illegal gun grab bill, that will be a success. If we are able to overturn the law that states you do not have to register as a sex offender if it's just your first offense, it'll be a success. If we are able to at least get abortion under control in the state of New Mexico and not make us a tourist destination for abortion. And that's a whole wide-ranging topic. And I understand that a majority of women believe that they should have the right to choose. And I'm a man. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your body. But at some point, that is a baby. Whether they believe it or not, I believe it happens the moment that baby is conceived.
Right.
That's just my Christian belief. But I think us as a society can collectively agree that if that baby's brain is developed, if that baby has a heartbeat, if that baby is a person, then we can't do this. And what did they used to say? Democrats used to say when they were trying to get Roe versus Wade, they would say abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. That's what they used to say. I don't know what this is. This isn't the Democratic Party that I read about or that I even experienced when I was a kid. And there are so many moderate Democrats that are Catholics that have voted for these horrendous abortion laws. And I don't understand how you can rectify your Christian faith or your Catholic faith with abortion.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't.
And if we can get more seats in the House, I know they're terrified. People like Art Dela Cruz in the South Valley, I know he is terrified of the liberal wing of his caucus. If there were more people like us in Santa Fe, he would vote with us more of the time.
Yeah.
But he's so terrified of losing re-election. And there are plenty of moderate Democrats like that that are fighting for their political life, because if they were open and honest about what they believed in, they would lose in a primary. And that's what's happening in our district. Our representative is not representative of our district anymore. So I'm running against him in a primary. And that's what would happen to them. So, a successful term would be getting more moderates to vote with us on simple issues, showing that we're able to accomplish real things, and then push for a majority in the next 4 to 6 years. If we're fortunate enough to have a Republican governor, that's going to change the entire script of what's happening in Santa Fe. The veto pen is a very, very powerful thing. And my entire goal is to be a bulldog for whoever is elected governor from our party, whether it's Duke or Doug or Greg. They need somebody in the House to fight for them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we got to stay optimistic.
Yeah, we have to. We have to. Primary June 2nd is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah. And, all right, so last question before we hit our fun round here. What message would you share with young people who want to get involved in leadership, politics, or community service right now?
Do it. Like, that's just the biggest thing, you know. It's get out there and do it. Whether you want to, like, I think every election should be competitive. Every primary, every general election, there should be at least 2 people running for that seat, because that's what's healthy for our democracy. But if you don't want to get into politics, volunteer on a campaign where you're not the candidate. Specifically my campaign. We'd love to have you. Join an organization like Rotary International, you know, the Shriners, excuse me, anything like that. There are several like veteran organizations that people can get involved with, women's organizations, your church. Just get out and do it, because we get lost in a bubble, right? We get lost in these things, and we, like my dad says, people are just afraid, or don't know what it's like to be afraid to get punched in the mouth anymore. It becomes a sounding board on social media, and people are able to say what they want to say behind the safety of their screen.
Yep.
But if you get out there with a like-minded but not identical group of people, you're going to learn so much more about them as people. And right now, they're just names on your screen. They're just profile pictures. They're just people saying mean things on the internet. Go out there and see the good in humanity. And I think that's really what carries me through this, because I see a lot of negative things on there. I've never been called a Nazi, and now it's happening like every week. But I think it's, you know, going back to my meetings with my I can't say that name, with my organization, getting out into the street and talking to people, meeting my clients, and just that restores my faith in humanity. So just get out and do it. Whatever it is to you. You know, there's that group, I don't know what they're called, but they meet off of Louisiana and Comanche, I think it is, and they have like they dress up like knights. Have you seen those
no,
guys?
but I've heard about it. Yeah,
dude, they have a great time. Like when I was at UNM, they had like a Jedi club.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen that too.
It doesn't have to be going out and volunteering your time to clean up the streets. Just get out of your house, get off of your phone, and enjoy life.
Yeah.
It'll make you a better person. It really will.
Yeah, for sure.
And Joe Rogan actually is the one that I hear him say that like every episode. I was like, he's right. We should do that. As I'm listening to him on my phone.
I mean, it's a true statement, man. You got to, as the younger generation says, go out and touch grass.
Yeah.
I think that's what they say.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And it's wild. Actually, speaking of of Gen Z, did you know that they are coming to Christ at a faster rate than millennials?
Yes, I love that. I love the fact that the stats have risen up on that aspect, for sure.
Because there's nothing for them.
Yeah.
Their entire lives, we're so fortunate. We are so fortunate that social media really didn't become prevalent until we were already like in high school or getting out of high school.
Yeah.
Like my biggest concern was like, who are my top 8 on MySpace? Yeah. Now these kids have Snapchat, and like, I'm not sure if you saw, like, do you watch Sean Ryan or listen to Sean Ryan?
I don't. I hear that's so much though.
Dude, you need to, they did one on Roblox.
Yeah.
And how like in the last 9 months, 10 kids have committed suicide.
I saw snippets of that episode.
It's wild. And like their whole life is lived in this thing, and it's a mirage. And I think it's really good for the church and, you know, for their souls that they're coming to Christ. But we've pushed them so far that there's nothing else for them to do. Like, you know, it's sad in a lot of ways, but it's really a good thing, because the only thing that has survived through the epidemic that is social media is Christ. Mm-hmm. Really.
Yeah. Yep. That's it, man. So I like to do this thing at the end of the questions. It's a rapid fire questions. So cool 10 little rapid fire questions for you. So first one, coffee or energy drinks?
Ooh, energy drinks.
Okay.
I'm an energy drink guy, yeah.
All right. Early morning or late night productivity?
Oh, dude, I'm asleep by 9 o'clock. So I don't know if I'd be productive at night. Early morning, my daughter wakes up at 5 every day. So early morning, yeah.
Okay. Early morning.
4 now with the time change.
Yeah. One leadership book everyone should read.
Oh. Decision Point, George W. Bush.
Oh, okay. Interesting. A mentor who influenced you the most.
Oh. It's supposed to be rapid fire. Mentor. Michael Perry, my boss. He's younger than me. He's, I think, 4 or 5 years younger than me. That man is an example of a leader in business, a leader in his church, and a leader of his family. He's a great dad, a great husband, and whatever, WWJD, like professionally, it's what would Michael do, in this situation. And I think it's served us well. But yeah, he is by far, in a way, professionally, the most influential person I've ever met.
Okay. All right. Your favorite New Mexican food?
My mom's green chili chicken enchiladas.
Okay. Go to, huh?
Hands down. She sent me a Tupperware home last week. I ate the entire thing in like 12 hours.
Oh, nice. All right. It's got to be good.
Yeah.
A place in New Mexico everyone should visit.
2. So Pizza Place is Pizza Barn out in Edgewood. I highly recommend that for like a restaurant. But there, I don't even know what it's called. You go up through Jemez. We took family photos there. You go up through Jemez, and between Jemez and Los Alamos, there's like a little turnoff, and people are like climbing rocks and stuff like that. But there's a little creek that's going through these massive rocks, and it has like the most beautiful wild flowers. It's absolutely gorgeous, and you don't see a lot of green in New Mexico. So that, like, I'm not gonna say like White Sands or Carlsbad or like that place, and I don't even know what it's called. I can find the mile marker, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So get up to northern New Mexico, get where it's green.
Okay, cool. The biggest lesson fatherhood has taught you so far?
That I am not the most important person in a room.
Okay.
Yeah, and that my future, while important, your future is important, is nowhere near as important as the future of those 2 little people that are part of you and part of the person that you love.
Yeah. Okay. That's huge. One word that describes your leadership style.
Intense.
Intense. I like it. A habit that keeps you disciplined.
Reading. Like actually reading books. This is like during 75 Hard, which I've not completed. They make it very clear. You can't listen to an audiobook. It doesn't count. You have to sit there and read.
Yeah.
And I think that we've gotten really spoiled with like AI. We're able to like look up any topic and get the information you need. Instant gratification, right?
Yeah.
Read the book from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And pay attention to what you're reading.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, but I do read at least 2 books a month, and that's what keeps me grounded in like reality, like a real paper book.
Yes.
It's wild.
There's no other feeling in the world than having that book in your hands,
Yeah.
just physical book. Yeah. I can't do audiobooks even if I tried.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's difficult to like on a podcast. I'll listen to Joe Rogan, but I have to have him up on one screen.
Yeah.
To actually like appreciate what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, the books is huge with me. I love reading too, so that's a good one. I agree with you 100%.
Another good step in discipline there is giving away the book.
Okay.
So you can have the conversation with somebody about what the book is, and then you're making that impact on them.
I like that.
It's so wild. Every book that I finish, I give it away. And people talk to me like, hey, man, Art of the Deal was actually really good. Donald Trump's a smart guy. I always thought he was just he was a POS or whatever. It's like, yeah, dude, smart guy.
Yeah.
So that's one that I give away. And my pastor actually had a suggestion of giving away the book that you're reading with a Bible.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's huge.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. And then the last one is, if you weren't in business or politics, what would you be doing?
Oh. If I could do anything?
Yeah.
I would be a professional sports broadcaster.
Ooh, okay. Any specific sport or just
baseball? I'd be the voice of the Yankees.
Okay. All right. Well, I know who your baseball team is. All right. Sweet. All right. Cool. So that was my last question. As I mentioned before we started rolling, if there's anything important that we didn't mention or you feel you need to talk about or throw out there right now that the audience or your followers need to know, it's open mic for you now.
Yeah. I want to be as accessible as someone in the public eye can be. If you have a question, if you have a concern, if you hate me, message me, leave a comment. I will try to reply to everybody, unless it's, absolutely ridiculous. But I think that's what's happened is we've separated our political class from the rest of the population, and I don't want to be part of that.
Yeah.
I still want to be the guy that try to sell you a house. I'm the guy that you see at the grocery store. I'm the guy that's, trying to fill up his truck for $100. But I just want to be a regular guy. And the beauty of running for this position is I'm still going to be your neighbor. I'm not running for U.S. Senate. I'm not running for U.S. House of Representatives. I'm running for a small district that runs from 29th Avenue to the border with Albuquerque and golf course to the Rio Puerco. That's a small little area, and I want to be your voice. And we might not agree on everything. We probably won't agree on everything, but I will always listen to you. I'll always take what you say under advisement, and I will empathize with it at the very least. But what we need now is we need people to get involved in this campaign. And George Bush said it during Katrina. You want to send your blankets, you want to send your waters, just send your cash. Go to zachanaya.com/donate today to donate. Our opponent has $250,000 to spend in this election. How you have $250,000 and you've never run against anybody ever, I think one election he has, is beyond me. So we are fighting a political machine. If you want to know more about my platform, we get really in depth on TikTok. It's Anaya 4NM on TikTok, and on Instagram it's Real Zach Anaya. You can find me on Facebook as well. But we're very early on, so I want to kind of shape this campaign based off of what people think is important. A lot of people don't care about the GRT. A lot of people don't care about the income tax, but there is something that matters to you, and I'd like to know what matters to you, and then I'll let you know what my opinion is on that.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. So you're open to responses, feedback, constructive criticism. I like it.
Even non-constructive. I think that a lot of people, they'll say something with the intent of being hurtful.
Yeah.
And it actually provides a lot more feedback than they would even expect. Like, someone called me a Nazi. I'm like, what am I saying that's making me sound like a Nazi to this person? Turns out she's insane. But I had retrospect. I wanted to see, like, what am I saying? Am I saying things that sound racist? Like, yeah. I'm not a racist person. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm talking about our schools. Like, so yeah, bring it. Just more engagement. You hate me? Comment.
Yeah.
It improves our position in the algorithm.
Yeah, it does. All right, awesome. And any specific shout outs or plugs you want to throw in there right now?
I already shouted out my mom's green chili chicken enchiladas. That's the most important. No, my wife, my kids. I love them so much. They're probably back at the house now. My parents, my grandparents, my sister, my brother, everybody I've been fortunate enough to meet professionally. They've really given me the freedom to be able to do this. Our state representatives don't get paid in New Mexico, even though liberals are trying to change that. They want $68,000 a year to go up there and work for 30 days.
Damn.
But this is 100% purely a volunteer organization, and the people that, like Zach Darden just called me right now, the people that are making up this campaign, Zach, Calvin, Michael, Steven, all of you, thank you for what you do. Okay. And thank you for having me on, bud.
Of course, really, it's my pleasure. Yeah, thank you for coming on today.
Of course.
You've already thrown your social media tags on there, and then on the description, I'll go ahead and just link all your website, your tags, everything else. So, is that it? Anything
vote for
else?
me. You live in the district.
I will vote for you. I'll be voting for you for sure. That's out there. Yeah. So you guys got to know Zach Anaya in the spotlight. So I hope you guys got a lot of wisdom out of that, a lot of knowledge out of that. I hope you opened up your eyes a little bit on what's going on in New Mexico, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque specifically. And until next time, guys, we'll catch you on another episode of Small Talk on the Mats. Peace out, everybody.